everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendra and today I'll be doing my January book buzz. This is a series where I go through all of the new releases that I'm interested in for that particular month, and I'll be going through all of these in categories, and I'll just be saying a quick synopsis or a tagline from each book. So first I'm going to go through all the romance novels that I'm interested in. And the first one is Inappropriate by V. Keelan, and the synopsis on this one says, terminated for inappropriate behavior, and then it's about a woman. She writes to the CEO of the company and they become pen pals. So I love books that are about pen pals, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Credence by Penelope Douglas, and this is about a girl. Her parents die unexpectedly, and then she has to go live with her father's stepbrother and two sons, and this is a love square, I believe. So I'm definitely excited to check this one out, and I love Penelope Douglas and I've been dying to read another book by her, so I'm so excited that she has a new book coming out this month. The next book I'm interested in is Come Back to Me by Corinne Michaels, and a synopsis on this one says, one night 8 years ago she gave me peace. No names, no promises, just two broken people, desperate to quiet their pain and grief. And this is a second chance romance, and I love second chance romances, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one I'm interested in is Release by Ali Martinez, and this one is a little bit of a longer synopsis, but it says, at 12, he asked me to be his girlfriend. At 13, he gave me my first kiss. At 16, we fell in love, planned a future together, and had our eyes set on the horizon. At 17, Ramsey was convicted of killing the boy who assaulted me. So here I am, 12 years later, waiting for a man I don't even know to emerge from between the chain link gates. So I'm definitely excited to read this one. This is another second chance romance, and I'm definitely interested in this one because the hero is in prison, and I'm just excited to read this one. The next one is The Trouble with Gravity by K.K. Allen, and this is another kind of a long synopsis, but it says, Kai's life is a series of choreographed steps, each one shielding her from her tragic past. Audition, dance, get paid, repeat. It's a broken record, but it's what keeps her world spinning. When a dangerously handsome man with trouble written all over his face rises into her life, his interest makes a disastrous splash. Now Kai's safe and secure world is on the brink of shattering. And this is another enemies to lovers, and I love enemies to lovers, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out, and I've heard amazing things about this author, so I'm definitely excited to check out something from this author. The next one is Liar by Fiona Cole, and the synopsis on this one says, he was my uncle's friend and I was too young for him. So I love age gap romances, and this one sounds super interesting because it's an uncle's friend, so I definitely want to check this one out. The next one I'm interested in is Hometown Heartless by Karen Ahrens, and the synopsis on this one says, 1 year ago, the boy next door was captured as a prisoner of hero, and now he's home. So I love military romances, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Empire of Lies by Whitney G, and this is another one that has kind of a long synopsis, but it says, the man I fell in love with is a freaking liar. I don't have much time to reveal all the details, but I will say this. The woman disappeared after wedding, and woman flies before honeymoon. Headlines are lying. I'm not missing. I didn't run away after my wedding. I would never run away before our scheduled honeymoon. My husband has taken me. No, correction, he has kidnapped me. Because he claims that it's what's best, that I'm a mere pawn in his twisted game of chess. So this one sounds so interesting, and I'm definitely intrigued by this because her fiance has kidnapped her, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Love of the Bluebird by Aurora Rose Reynolds and Jessica Marin, and this is another one that has kind of a long synopsis, but it says, with a hit song sitting at #1 on the country music charts, Gavin thought he finally had everything he ever wanted. All it takes is one look from the mesmerizing woman sitting in the front row at one of his shows and a brief encounter to make him realize just what he's been missing. Even though he's been burnt in the past, Gavin puts his ambitions aside and his heart on the line to earn the trust of the woman who could be his everything. I'm definitely interested in this one because it is about a country musician, and I love country music, so I'm really excited to check this one out. The next one is Bossman Bridekeeper by Megan Quinn, and the synopsis on this one says, will you do me the greatest honor of all time and be my bridegroom? She asks, hope in her eyes, how did I get here? My assistant bent on one knee, holding my hand, her expectant face waiting for an answer. Just how? This one actually kind of sounds kind of confusing. Like, I'm not really sure what a bridegroom is, but I'm definitely interested because I really like this author, so I will definitely be checking this one out. The next one is Whatever It Takes by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and the synopsis on this one says, I have a bad reputation. Call me what you want. Bad boy next door. Trouble. The kid who can't do anything right. But when Willow moves into my neighborhood, nothing should have happened. She's geeky, shy, a true wallflower. Willow is a good girl. Too good for me. So this one sounds super interesting, and it's a start of a new series, and I like the bad boy, good girl trope, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Bastard Bachelor by Sarah Nye, and the synopsis on this one says, what is a Bastard Bachelor society? It's a gentleman's club like the dignified men of the past used to have, except we're not gentlemen and we're not dignified. We're illegible bachelors, bored, jaded, and not looking for relationships. Quite the opposite, actually. We're so committed to being single, we've created a high-stakes bet to see who can remain single the longest. Rules are involved, and there are prizes. So this is a start of another new series, and this one sounds really intriguing, and I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Stone Hearts by Amber Kelly, and this is a second book in the Poplar Falls series. And the synopsis on this one says, when I returned to Poplar Falls 6 years ago, I've given up on love. I'd made the mistake of marrying the sexy rebel right out of high school. He ended up in jail, and I ended up pregnant. With a baby on the way, I decided to give up the wild, impulsive ways. All I wanted was a family and to watch my sweet son grow up happy and healthy. Then Meyer Wilson keeps showing up in my life and my son's life. So this is a second chance romance, and this is Dallas's story if you have read the first book in the series. So I'm definitely excited to read this one, and I will be reading this one this month. The next one is Heartland by Serena Bowen, and this is the 7th book in the True North series, and this one is an emotional friends and lovers romance full of risky secrets and late night lessons in seduction. So I love this series. I've read the first 2 books in the series, so I really need to catch up so I can read this one. The next one is Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey, and this is the follow-up book to Fix Her Up, and this is about a married couple whose rocky relationship needs a serious renovation. And I still need to read Fix Her Up, so I definitely need to read that one so I can read this one. The next one is Crossing the Line by Kendall Ryan, and this is a 4th book in the Hot Jocks series. And this one says, if you like sexy, confident men who know how to handle a stick on and off the ice, and smart women who are strong enough to keep all those big egos in check, this series is for you. I'm really excited to actually check out this series because I have read something by Kendall Ryan and I really liked it, and I actually have never heard of this series, so I definitely want to read the first book so I can get to this one. And the last book in the romance category is Whiskey Moments by Emily Bowie, and this is a 4th book in a Steele family series, and the synopsis on this one says, what happens when the legend you love becomes a man you hate? Riot is a man who destroyed my life, shattered my dreams, and the very first time I met him, it's like he purposely pushes buttons I don't even realize exist. Riot has a singing career. This is another musician, rock star romance, and this is a enemies to lovers as well. So I definitely want to check out the first book in the series because I've also never heard about this series before, and I love following series that center around a family, and yeah, I'm really excited to check this one out. Next, I'm going to go through all of the adult contemporary, and the first one I have is American Dirt by Jenny Cummins, and this is a rare exploration into the inner hearts of people willing to sacrifice everything for a glimmer of hope. And this deals with Mexico and the drug cartel, and I've heard so many things about this book. I keep seeing it everywhere on Instagram, so I definitely am interested in checking this one out. And yeah, this one just sounds really, really interesting and very intriguing. The next one is Dear Edward by Anne Poliano, and I did get this one as one of my book of the month selections in December, so I'm definitely excited to read this one. But this is inspired by a true story of one child's incredible survival, riveting, uplifting, unforgettable. and he is a lone survivor of a plane crash. So this one just sounds super heartbreaking and I cannot wait to read it. The next one is This Is Not How It Ends by Rochelle B. Winston, and this one says it's about a moving novel of the hearts lost and found and of one woman torn between two love stories. This one just sounds like it's going to be such a great adult contemporary, and I cannot wait to read this one. And the last one is You Were There Too by Colleen Oakley, and this one is a heart-wrenching and unforgettable love story about a woman who must choose between the man she loves and the man fate has chosen for her, in a novel that reminds us that the best life is one led by the heart. So this one sounds like it's going to be super emotional, and I'm definitely excited to check it out. Next, I'm going to go through the historical fiction, and the first one is Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain, and this is set in North Carolina in 2018 and 1940, and Morgan Christopher's life has been derailed, taking the fall for a crime she did not commit. She finds herself serving a 3-year stint in the North Carolina Women's Correctional Center. I love Diane Chamberlain, and this one definitely sounds really, really interesting, and I cannot wait to read this one. The next one is A Long Petal of the Sea by Isabel Allende. I think that's how you say it. And this is an epic novel spanning decades and crossing continents, following two young people as they flee the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War in search of a new place to call home. And I've never read anything centered around the Spanish Civil War, so I'm definitely interested in reading something about that time period. The next one is All the Ways We Said Goodbye by Patrice Williams, Lauren Wilnig, and Karen White. And this one says it's a glorious historical adventure that moves from the dark days of 2 world wars to the turbulent years of the 1960s, in which 3 women with bruised hearts find refuge at Paris's legendary Ritz Hotel. I've seen a lot of books that are set around the Ritz Hotel, and I'm definitely interested in what actually went on there because I really have no idea. So I'm definitely interested in reading this one, and I love books that are set during World War II. The next one is Dreamland by Nancy Bilyeu. This one says the year is 1911 when 23-year-old Harris Peggy Batterberg is invited to spend the summer in America's playground. So this is centered around a carnival, and I'm very interested in reading a book about this because I'm interested in carnivals and I find that atmosphere very, very interesting, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Lady Clementine by Marie Benedict, and this is an incredible novel that focuses on one of the people who had the most influence during World War I and World War II, and that person is Clementine Churchwell. So I'm definitely interested in reading this one so I can learn more about this person. The next one is The Whispers of War by Julia Kelly, and this one says the start of World War II looms over 3 friends who struggle to remain loyal as one of them is threatened with internment by the British government. And once again, I love World War II books, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Wife After Wife by Olivia Mayfield, and this one says it's a wickedly entertaining and utterly absorbing modern take on the life and marriages of Henry VIII if he were a 21st century womanizing media mogul rather than the King of England. So this one sounds like it's going to have a unique twist on it, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. I've also have seen this one around too, so yeah. Sounds quite interesting. The next one is Remembrance by Rita Woods, and this is about a hidden stop on the underground road to freedom, a safe haven protected by more than secrecy. I'm definitely interested in reading this one because of the Underground Railroad, and I know this one has multiple timelines that you follow, and I'm definitely intrigued to read this one. Now I'm going to go through all of the adult thrillers that I'm interested in, and the first one is Unspeakable Things by Jess Laurie, and this is inspired by a true story about a small Minnesota community where nothing is as quiet or as safe as it seems. One of the local boys goes missing in the 1980s in Minnesota. So I'm definitely interested in reading this one, and I love when books are based upon a true story. So I'm definitely interested in reading this one. The next one is Long Bright River by Liz Moore, and this is about 2 sisters. They travel the same streets, though they live very different lives, and then one of them goes missing, and this is centered around Philadelphia during the opioid crisis. So I'm definitely intrigued by the synopsis and I cannot wait to read this one. I also did get this one as one of my book of the month selections, so I definitely will be reading this one very soon. The next one is The Other People by CJ Tudor, and this is a thriller about a man's quest for the daughter no one else believes is still alive. This one definitely sounds very, very interesting, and I cannot wait to read this one. The next one is The Lookalike by Erica Spindler, and this is a psychological drama about a woman who believes she escaped a brutal murder years ago, but does anyone else believe her? And this one sounds really, really interesting, and I cannot wait to read this one. The next one is The Wife and the Widow by Christina White, and this is set against the backdrop of an eerie island town in the dead of winter. How well do we really know the people we love? So this one sounds like it's going to be perfect for winter because it's set during the winter time, and I love when it's about like little eerie towns, so I'm definitely excited to read this one. The next one is The Better Liar by Tannen Jones, and this one says, when a woman conceals her sister's death to claim their joint inheritance, her deception exposes a web of dangerous lies. And I've seen this one around a lot, so I'm definitely intrigued by this one. The next one is How Quickly She Disappeared by Raymond Fleischman, and this is set in the Alaskan landscape about madness and obsession, loneliness and grief, and the ferocious bonds of family. And I love books that are set in Alaska, and it's a thriller, so I'm super excited to check this one out. And the last thriller I have is The Prized Girl by Amy K. Green, and this is about a teen pageant queen is found murdered in a small New England town, and her sisters search for answers unearths more than she bargained for. This one sounds really, really interesting, and I'm definitely excited to check this one out. Now I have a couple YA fantasy that I'm interested in. The first one is Scavenged the Stars by Tara Sim. And the synopsis on this one says, when Amaya rescues a mysterious stranger from drowning, she fears her rash actions have earned her a longer sentence on the debtor's ship where she's been held captive for years. And this is actually a retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo, and although I've never read this classic, I'm still very interested in reading this one. The next one is Dark and Deepest Red by Anna Marie McLemore, and this one says, in the summer of 1518, a strange sickness sweeps through Strasbourg. Women dance in the streets, some until they fall down dead. As rumors of witchcraft spread, suspicion turns toward Lavina and her family, and Lavina may have to do the unimaginable to save herself and everyone she loves. This one sounds really interesting because it deals with witchcraft and a strange sickness that has swept over the village, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out, and I still need to read a book by this author. I know that she writes a lot of magical realism, and I'm definitely interested in that, so hopefully I can check this one out very soon. The next one is Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Banez, but this says it's a lush tapestry of magic, romance, and revolution, drawing inspiration by the Bolivian politics and history. I've never read anything that is centered around this country before, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out and hopefully learn something new. The next one is Nameless Queen by Rebecca McLaughlin. And this one says, one girl must make a name for herself or die trying, in this royal fantasy where an unknown peasant becomes the ultimate ruler. But how long can she keep the crown if everyone wants her dead? I love fantasy novels that are set around like royalty, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. The next one is Diamond City by Francesca Flores, and this one says, good things don't happen to girls who come from nothing unless they risk everything. So yeah, this one sounds really interesting. And the last one is a YA contemporary, and is Echoes Between Us by Katie McGeary, and this says it's about a girl with everything to lose and the boy who will do anything to save her. So I'm definitely excited to check this one out because I love Katie McGeary and I love her contemporary romances. So those are all the books that I'm interested in that come out in January. I know it's quite a lot. I probably won't even get through even a quarter of these, but at least they're on my radar and I can check them out sometime in the near future. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in any of these books, and until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye!